Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Super Bowl week, and that includes us right here in Duval. It's kind of crazy how things have changed in the world of sports radio. Radio Row at the Super Bowl was a fixture for decades, and it was such a big deal, but like so many other things, that's kind of gone away. Right now, everyone pimping a product, and you think you have a great guest, but they want to sit there and they want to talk about Skittles, or they want to talk about, I don't know, detergent, laundry detergent, or no matter what it may be. But, hey, the game's still going to be here in 5 days, or make that 6 days. The commercials are going to be important to so many people out there. And I tell you what, it is Monday. Right now, I'm leaning Philly. I am. My final pick coming up on Friday. Got to check the injury reports a little bit later on in the week. New Orleans is one of those places where there's always an opportunity for someone to really get sick. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's in the air. I mean, great food, but everything else out there, it's just really sketch. And, boy, I tell you, I remember sharing a hotel room with David Lamb back when Florida State won the national title against Va Tech. And, man, I was as sick as a dog. And it wasn't booze sick. It was legitimate flu. So that's happened to a lot of football players whenever they go to New Orleans. I don't know what it is. And, of course, they're under the best care. The doctors will IV them and do this and do that. But it could be a factor. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully they'll just get it done on the field. Hopefully the officials will not be a factor in this game. I find that very hard to believe. I hate to say it, but my bet would be next Monday at this time. We're talking about a Super Bowl champion. We're also talking about it being affected immensely by the officials. Hate it. Hate it. And I hope it doesn't happen. Let's have a good football game. Can the Chiefs win 3 in a row? Never thought there would be another dynasty like what we saw with the New England Patriots, but Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid on the cusp of putting themselves right into that category. All right, it's good to have you with us. Just barely underway. It is a Monday edition. Rick Ballou alongside Dylan Denmark with you tonight till 8. Former coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Dave Campo. Coming up in 23 minutes, I'm going to pick his brain about everything the Jaguars have done so far. That includes Liam Cohen and what he believes is next. Congratulations to my friend Tony Boselli. Remember hosting the Tony Boselli show on the ball back in the mid-90s. It was 1 hour a week on Mondays. I want to say in 96, 97, 98, and then Boselli just got too expensive. But I've known this guy forever, and today is a great day for Jaguar fans. This should have happened years ago. And instead of criticizing the fact that it hasn't happened, which I have done time and again, let's just support this movement. The executive vice president of football operations, he will report to Shad Khan. To me, this is going to be fascinating. I looked at his job description, and Tony Boselli is going to literally do everything but sweep the floors when he leaves the Miller Electric Center. I honestly think it's a little bit too much. But that was what was described today when Jaguars PR came forward with the release. So let me actually find that for you. Because, obviously leadership is so important. Here we go. Listen to what Boselli's responsibilities are with this new role, okay? In addition to his role on the football leadership unit, Boselli will be responsible for player engagement, football technology, football travel and logistics. What? Okay. I mean, they have a great staff there. Hamza and Brian and JK and, the list just goes on and on and on. I've known all those guys for a very long period of time. Okay, equipment? They're phenomenal equipment managers over there. George and Stilly and Brandon. I forgot Brandon Roth as well, one of the logistic guys. I mean, these are really good people, okay? Sports performance, team security, football communications. So maybe it's just Boselli's involved in everything. I can't see he's going to walk up to these people who've been there for a very long period of time. And regardless of the record on the field, those positions that I just mentioned, that is staffed very well. There's a lot of good people in those positions who have been there year after year after year. I know I traveled with them for 8 years, but I, continue to have a relationship with most of those folks, and they really are super people. So maybe Boselli will just oversee what is going on. But my point is, none of those issues right now are an issue. They're all good. They're all above average to pretty close to being perfect. It's more of getting football-related issues, and I guess that is the second? That was the second one that was listed. Let me see this one more time. Football technology. All right, maybe that is involved a little bit more on the analytics side, on the football, strategically speaking, how to run an offense, how to run a defense. Shad Khan told us, when he fired Doug Peterson, that this was the most predictable offense and defense in the NFL. I was shocked by that admission. It was actually kind of cool that Shad Khan said it because I didn't think he was that fully involved, honestly. I just thought he was a guy that let people do their jobs and really didn't know all that much. And, some people out there would still subscribe to that theory. So what does the hire of Boselli really mean? Until we actually see it play out, we don't really know the answer, right? We all have an idea. To me, what makes this so important is Boselli has respect, okay? First of all, he's a really good guy, okay? He's a guy's guy. He's a man's man. And again, I've known him since he was 22 years of age, all right? I was just a couple of years older than him. Probably I still am. He is a man's man. He's a guy that I've had so many conversations with over the years, on the record, off the record, traveling with him. The years that his son played at Florida State, we were on the road. We'd find a Florida State restaurant or bar where we would watch FSU. I mean, I know an awful lot about Tony, and it all comes back to one thing and one thing only. He loves the Jaguars. When they win, he's elated. When they lose, he deals with the pain just like you do. Just like all of these Jaguar fans do. And frankly, they need someone like that in the building. We see players and coaches come and go. It's their livelihood. You offer more money, you're gone. You get too old, you get cut. You get a restructured contract, or you're waived, or you're released, or you're traded. This is a brutal business. It's really shocking that there hasn't been anyone in this position now entering year 31. Boselli's going to be able to be that guy, and he's going to be able to command respect. He can go to Shad Khan and say, Shad, the team needs this. The team is not doing this. He can go to the coach, in this case, 39-year-old Liam Cohen. And Boselli was obviously involved in the hire of Liam Cohen, and tell him what he is seeing as a former player, a Hall of Famer, who's still very connected with the league. The incoming general manager will be the same deal. Just go back to a year ago at this time. We had just barely heard from Trent Baalke. In a town like Jacksonville, where you have one professional franchise, and I understand minor league sports, and there's collegiate sports here, and that's very important, and I'm not trying to dismiss that. But you're one of 30 cities that has an NFL team, right? There's a couple in L.A. and a couple in New York, New Jersey. You can't let Trent Baalke go 18 days the way he did a year ago after this team was 5-6, 8-3, and they lost 5 of their last 6. And everyone's walking around with their hands up like, what happened? What was wrong with this? And your general manager goes 18 days without speaking to the media. That is appalling. Okay? That is an embarrassment. Boselli can fix that. That shouldn't be on the Jaguars' PR. That shouldn't be on Shad Khan. That shouldn't be on Doug Peterson. That's on Trent Baalke. And now when you have a guy in the Miller Electric Center like Tony Boselli, he can go to Trent Baalke and say, go talk to the freaking media. Okay? 18 days. What the hell is wrong with you? Go ahead and do that. If there feels like there's a strife that's going on, that the players are rebelling against Doug Peterson, whether it's Roy Robertson Harris, whether it's Cam Robinson, that there's negativity, Boselli's the guy who can talk to the coach. Boselli's the guy who can talk to Shad Khan. What's really going to be intriguing is Boselli's role with players. I have no idea how that's going to work. And frankly, I don't know how it worked for John Elway. I don't know how it worked for Chris Spielman. I don't know how it worked for John Lynch. Today's players, period, they don't care about the Founding Fathers. They just don't. C.J. Stroud's your best example. They may look, they may nod their head, they may say, yes, sir, but I just do not know if anyone can connect with today's players. There's no respect for those who built this game, for those who provided them the opportunity to make so much money. And I'm not saying here. I'm saying in general. I'm saying in hockey, in baseball, in basketball, and in football. It's starting to happen in college. Go back to C.J. Stroud. I didn't even talk to his offensive coordinator his last year at Ohio State. He had such a feud that he only talked with the head coach. That's amazing to me. So that's going to be really intriguing. And the only time you need a player like that is what? If you start losing a lot of football games. You start losing games, you start making excuses. You start losing games, you start blaming others. You lose games, you point fingers. Lack of leadership is really a problem with this franchise. When Boselli played, there were leaders, man. I remember, I'll say it because it happened 30 years ago. I remember doing an interview with Boselli, and I played it on the ball, where he wondered why the fans weren't showing up. And Loggeman, they're now best of buds. It's like, Boselli's got to get better than that. He's a rookie. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay? I mean, this was a huge story back in 95 or 96. I think it was in 96, so it would have been his second year. We all make mistakes. Tony made them. Okay? He went to USC during an era where USC sold out every week. Sold out all of their games. But there was leadership all within that building. Offensive line, defensive players. Right now, this football franchise is so poor in the leadership area. Who are they? I'm listening. Give me a leader. You can't. You going to tell me Trevor Lawrence? Well, then you and I look at leadership differently. I look at him getting concussed. I look at him getting his ass beat and getting knocked out. And outside of Jarian Jones, no one on that football team did anything to defend their franchise quarterback. To me, that reeks of lack of leadership. A rookie had to do it. Okay, Brandon Sheriff and a couple of linemen, they worked up a lather a little bit. But come on. Come on. Look at the quarterbacks in this league. Can you imagine if Pat Mahomes got laid out or Jalen Hurts got laid out or C.J. Stroud? Can you imagine some of these other quarterbacks, if they got laid out, what the payback would have been? The 15-yard personal fouls didn't happen around here. Soft. Okay? And no leaders. You going to tell me Josh Hines Allen is a great leader? Okay. Tell me that. Tell me that. I don't believe you. I think he's a good football player. I think he's an above-average football, but I don't think he's a leader. So maybe Boselli can get on him a little bit. I don't know how that's going to take place, but maybe Tony Boselli can show this football team what leadership is all about. Or maybe it will go in one ear and out the other. I hate to say it, but I kind of feel that the latter is going to happen here. This is so hard today for these coaches. It's so hard today for these former players. Again, I talk about it all the time because it's such a glaring issue. It really is. I mean, just look at my alma mater. You know, it's over for Leo Hamilton. Finally, it's over for Leonard Hamilton. After 23, those kids quit. Those kids don't care. Look at the football team this year in Tallahassee. Those kids quit. 28 of them sucked their thumb because they were left out of the national championship game. Norvell let that entire program quit on each other. Okay? These are facts. They're right in front of our face. That was the greatest thing about Billy Napier. Even though every Gator fan out there listening, you wanted him fired. You won't admit it now, but you wanted him out. And Strickland wrote a letter. You got blown out by Texas, but you played hard against the Longhorns. And then you beat LSU and Mississippi and beat Florida State. My alma mater had 8 freaking fumbles in the game. They allowed 8 freaking sacks in the game. And you took that momentum with you during the offseason. Things can change in a heartbeat. But my goodness, man, today's athletes, they'll quit on you in a heartbeat. They'll take their ball and they'll go home. And it's not only NIL and transfer portal on Saturday, it's in the NFL on Sunday. How many examples did we see this year where players got coaches fired? Aaron Rodgers to Robert Saleh, Micah Parsons to Mike McCarthy. Those are 2 off the top of my head. At least this organization moved Roy Robertson Harris and moved Cam Robinson when you knew it was becoming a problem. But is Boselli going to be able to be on top of that? He's aware of it. He will be aware of it. Is he going to have a say? I don't. Yes, he is, I would think. Will they listen? Maybe they'll look at the Hall of Famer and say, man, that's Tony Boselli. And Tony Boselli's telling me to pick it up as a professional. Hopefully they'll listen. I don't know if they will. And that, to me, is scary. But it still should be a very good day for Jaguar fans. This was a long time coming. It's about time you put someone there who you know is going to be dealing with the loss just as and it will be just as difficult for him as it is for you. I say it all the time. I hate it for you on Monday. There's nothing worse than I envision you as a Jaguars fan than getting out of the rack on a Monday morning and this team lost again and again and again and again. And you got to do your work week. And you may not enjoy your job. And this is your only diversion. This is what you have to get away from your everyday problems. And last year's team just didn't care. I mean, last year's team said, watch this, Jaguar fans. We're going to lose 4 straight games to begin the year. We're not going to give you, besides that first drive at Miami, we're not going to give you any opportunity all season long to smile. We're going to immediately lose all 4 games. So you can get with your friends and you can drill your beers and you can do whatever it is, but you know you have no shot of joy in 2024. That's what your Jaguars did to you this past season. Team needs leadership, man. Woo-hoo. Boy, I've never seen a team with so few leaders as this current Jaguar club. Will it change in the next few weeks through free agency, which actually is a month and a couple of days away? Will it change with the NFL draft? How much can you expect a rookie to provide leadership? Only time will tell. But that still remains the biggest problem as far as I am concerned. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. 20/20 eyesight with Shmunez. Yeah, that's expected. That is a want. Laser eye surgery. How are your eyes? What about needs? What about something that is far more significant like cataract surgery? It's petrifying, isn't it? Be honest. You know someone who's going through it, right? And they're nervous. And I got you. I would be nervous as well. You got to trust those who are going to perform the surgery on you. That includes Dr. Neo Shmunez, who performed surgery on my right eye 8.5 years ago. Just went in for a normal checkup, eye examination. And he looks at me and he says, brother, you got a real issue in your right eye. You need surgery immediately. And I was like, I feel fine. Everything's great. He's like, it's not fine. It needs to be removed in the morning. And he did it. There's never been a setback. There's never been a problem. Every time I visit, it's perfect. And that is what you get at Shmunez Vision, a practice where you can trust the doctors. Here's also what is comforting, whether it's Dr. John Hunt or Dr. Neo Shmunez or Dr. Catherine Shmunez, they're the ones who are performing surgery. They'll sit and talk to you about it all. They're not going to appoint you a surgery counselor. You're going to have plenty of questions. You're going to be freaking out a little bit. They will calm you down and let you know that everything is going to be fantastic. That's what you have come to expect. It's what I have at the good folks at Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. Also go to Instagram. You can get all the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. All right, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Every night, we get things rolling here around 6:25 or so. We bring in the good folks from Miller Electric, and we tonight bring you Dave Campo. Looking forward to this because Campo knows so much about this game. His thoughts on what the Jaguars have done so far, and his thoughts as well on what he believes the Jaguars will do next. All that's upcoming. The best way for you to join us is the text line 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Dan Hicken.
I need that ball. Get me the ball.
Jeff Prosser.
You need the ball. Get me the ball.
Get you the ball.
Are you going to get me the ball?
I'll get you the ball.
Dan and Jeff, The Drill. Mornings on 1010XL.
Your new roof from Universal Roof and Contracting can help save a life. Percentage of every new roof this month will go to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. St. Jude's is leading the way. The world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection. This promotion ends February 28th. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
You know, many plumbers won't quote prices over the phone and instead charge a service fee for an in-home estimate. Of course, because they know once they're in your home, you're probably not going to send them away. But Roland Reach Plumbing is different. Roland will give you a price quote over the phone. And there's never a trip charge or service fee for an estimate. So if you've got a leak and can't wait a week and don't like paying unnecessary fees, call on Roland Reach Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
It's time to elevate your game night. Head to Best Bet, your premier destination for poker, card games, and hospitality. With locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine, we have a seat ready for you. Whether you're a seasoned poker player or just starting out, we have you covered with poker games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em. And it's not just poker. With delicious dining, lively bars, and big screen events, there's something for everyone at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com and ante up for fun.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Valentine's Day is almost here. You can't get away with just a card this year. Beard's Diamonds is here to save the day and your wallet.
Oh, and it gets better. Every purchase between now and Valentine's Day comes with a free dinner at Fogo de Chao.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Share a cup of coffee and range balls with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros. Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Sounds like a lot of club for this young man.
Brunch with the tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Hammond, Valentine's Day is coming up. Got any romantic plans?
Dad, I'm married to Clean Air. My plan is to help Jacksonville families breathe easier.
You're helpless, but Clean Air does sound nice. Can duct cleaning really help?
Absolutely. Dust, allergens, even odors can build up in your ducts. Cleaning them now makes your air fresher and healthier for your family. The EPA says better indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So cleaning ducts are like Valentine's Day gift for the house.
Exactly. Forget chocolates. Fresh air lasts longer and doesn't melt. Plus, Plus, we've got a February special, $100 off your total.
All right, sign me up. Maybe fresh air will make Mom fall in love with me again all over.
You'll have to take her to dinner for that, but cleaner air will definitely help.
Fair enough. Jacksonville, if you're ready to show your home some love, Google Zero Res and read over 7,000 five-star reviews. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
The big game is almost here, and Sonny's Barbecue wants you to win a barbecue feast. Text Sonny's to the text line brought to you by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010 for your chance to win. 641-1010.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. This Sunday's the big game. Look, don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could say this has finally come. Parties, football, libations, food, all the festivities we welcome every February. The question is, what if you're trying to lose weight but still enjoy watching the with friends? The answer? Nothing. As I've told you before, Awaken 180 is built for real-life scenarios. The reason Awaken 180 is now in their 9th year and growing nationally, the program works. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the Super Bowl. Have a beverage while betting on the Super Bowl. Live your life while enjoying the Super Bowl. I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tonight's show brought to you by Miller Electric. It's been busy over at the Miller Electric Center. Hey, it's busy all throughout Jacksonville when it involves Miller Electric. If you're an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, just go to Miller Careers. Miller Electric's been around for 96 plus years. They take on the biggest projects in the city, offering you a chance to showcase your skills on the grand scale. We always talk about culture. Typically, when you lose, right, you got to rebuild the culture. How about a positive culture? That's what they have at Miller Electric, and they believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay and top-notch benefits. For all of the details, just go to Miller Careers. That is millercareers.com. One of my favorite individuals to talk football with is Dave Campo, and he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Hello, Dave.
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I really am. It's amazing. This team went 4-13, but the last week and some change feels like a lot of positives are coming out of the Miller Electric Center.
Well, there's no question that anytime you get something new, there's going to be an added enthusiasm. And, you know, obviously we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we certainly want to be optimistic. And there's no question that Liam Cohen is proven that he knows what to do with the quarterback and what's going on offensively. And I think defensively, I think what he's doing is he's bringing young, enthusiastic, more energy, which is something I think we really need here.
You and I talked about this a while back. I think the last time that I had you on, my whole look at this was, and Ben Johnson was the guy that I wanted. Liam Cohen's in, and I'll be supportive. But what I wanted more than anything was a young head coach who also calls offensive plays. So if offensive coaches start getting plucked, if you flip the switch and you start winning games, you still have that nucleus in place with Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no question. I mean, he's going to be a rookie head coach, but at the same time, some of the things he said, going into this thing and the approach he took. Obviously, everybody here was excited about him in the organization. And, I'm happy that that's going to be the case. Now, the key thing is going to be to get him a defensive staff, as I mentioned earlier, because if he's going to call plays, I'm sure he's going to be involved with the defense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, his main thrust is going to be Trevor Lawrence and what they do offensively. So, to me, that's why he's going after the defensive coaches even before his offensive guys, because I think he feels like who he gets on offense is going to be his guy, and he feels like he's going to be able to handle that pretty well.
Dave Campo, our guest, joining Rick Ballou as he goes into the night. To me, the most important hire, and again, a lot of people would disagree with this, but it's the offensive line coach. And, I love this Kevin Carberry, 41, 42-year-old in Tampa. I know he has no experience as being an offensive coordinator. He wouldn't be the play caller, but listening to Liam Cohen and then going back and watching Tampa Bay play this year, that offensive line completely changed in 1 year. To me, this is enormous for Liam Cohen to pick the right guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's made that well known when he's talked to people, that he feels like, let me put it this way. I said one of the things for sure we want to get out of this hire before it was hired was somebody that understands that you win up front. And that's on the offensive side and the defensive side. So, to me, that's going to be a big hire for him. I think they're going to go for more of a gap scheme with some zone pressure, zone plays in there. But to me, he's going to have to strengthen the offensive line, and it's going to be somebody, in my opinion. He said, hey, they're the first guys I'm going to see, the defense is going to see coming out of the huddle, and we want them to be looking good and playing good.
How important is it, Dave, in your opinion, Ron Rivera apparently interviewed over the weekend, to bring in a former head coach in some capacity, considering Liam Cohen's only 39 years of age?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that would be a tremendous hire if he could get that done. Because, number one, you're going to have a lot of, and what I'm saying in inexperience, listen, everybody's got to be a coordinator for the first time they do it. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't necessarily mean that those guys don't know what they're doing. But they are inexperienced from the standpoint of not being in the league for a long time. And, and a guy like that could help us as a defensive assistant head coach, whatever it is, to kind of, give a little bit of extra to the defensive staff, but also he's been a head coach, and that has a chance to help him, Cohen, as well.
And, it appears, once again, this franchise will have a first-time head coach, a first-time defensive coordinator, and it could end up being a first-time offensive coordinator. So, again, having a head coach somewhere there in your stable becomes especially important. Anthony Campanile was hired, and I like his attitude. I like the fact that he's very passionate. You're a defensive-minded coach. Here's a guy last year with the linebackers in Green Bay, part of a 4-3. He also learned under Brian Flores and Vic Fangio, guys who are, a 3-4 style defense. Just on the surface, before they add in free agency in the draft, what do you think? What type of defensive scheme do you believe Jacksonville should run?
Well, they're going to have to be more aggressive than what they've been. And I think being around those two guys, especially Flores, that's an aggressive approach. He's going to blitz at any time, do what he has to do there. Obviously, we've got to go get some guys that can handle the one-on-one stuff, maybe get a little bit better pass rusher inside. I think that's a plus. But he also has been with the old hand in Fangio, who is a little bit more conservative. So I think he's gotten both sides, and I think that's important. And the thing we have to remember, and first of all, he fired me up the other night with there was a sound bite of him, talking to the defense. And even though it was beeped out a lot, it got me excited. So I like his attitude. And the other thing, from a defensive standpoint, if he's hiring guys based on reputation from guys in that McVay, LaFleur, Halfley tree, and those guys have been all pretty good defensive coordinators, and both Miami and Green Bay, the defenses have been in a top 10 defense in almost every category.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about him. Again, he's young. That's why I think that Ron Rivera would be a plus. But at the same time, listen, these young guys have been brought up in a spread offense, and the energy is going to be there.
Yeah. And I remember our previous conversations, guys like me make a huge deal out of a 4-3-3-4. I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but, most defenses are hybrid anyway, and they have to adjust in-game based on what the offense is doing.
Yeah, to be honest with you, when you're talking about fronts, I'm talking about the front group of guys and the linebackers. The only difference between a 3-4 and a 4-3 is that the two guys on the outside in a 3-4 standing up, and in a 4-3, they've got their hand on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, in my opinion, that they're going to lean towards the 4-3, but the fronts, the movement, and the ability to blitz, those things are basically all the same. You just have to put different stobs in there at each position.
Last one for you, Dave. Dave Campo, our guest. To me, leadership is enormous. They tried last year. Eric Armstead and others were thought to provide leadership around here. In my opinion, it did not happen. Do leaders rise to the top simply by the club winning, or do they have guys in that locker room that you believe are good leaders and that they'll be, ahead of this with a new coach and it could turn, simply, I think it's a very difficult process, but maybe it's more simple than I've given it credit for.
Well, I think it's important. I mean, obviously players win games. And what goes on in the locker room is a combination of, what people are saying from the coaching staff side and, guys in the locker room. I think the first thing that Liam Cohen will do is he will find the guys in the locker room that have everybody's, ear, that are listening to them. And that's what you have to have in the locker room is some guys that believe in what the head coach is doing, what direction he's going. And I think that slipped a great deal the last couple, into last year and this year. I think there are some guys in that locker room that are okay. The thing that concerns me is probably the best leader of the whole group is not playing, and that's Dewey Wingard.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to have to bring in some guys, in my opinion, that are not necessarily old guys, but guys that know Cohen and know some of those defensive coaches that can kind of be the spokesman for them in the locker room.
Outstanding as always, Dave Campo. Thank you.
You got it. Have a great night, Rick.
There he goes. Thank you so much. Always a lot of fun to break a little bread with Dave Campo. The man knows so much about football, especially on the defensive side. The Jaguars added a couple of coaches today, and we'll get to that on the other side. A secondary coach was added earlier this afternoon out of Oregon State. I have it up to now 7 coaches on this staff. So we'll spend a couple of minutes on that. Also want to get you fully involved with the program. We're on YouTube right now. Are you trying to tell me that on YouTube, hold on one second here, that we're already hearing from Da Big Baby Drip, who's one of my favorite musicians, not only here in Duval, but I got to tell you, from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. Big shout out to Da Big Baby Drip, who is joining us on YouTube. Oh, my gosh. Have you taken a look at the text line, Dylan?
I have not yet.
It is burning up at 641-1010, brought to you by the good folks over at Lifetime Enclosures. All right. Let's get to you. I got a lot more to say tonight. Dylan Denmark's got a lot more to say tonight. It's a great day in Jacksonville. Tony Boselli, the Executive Vice President of Football Operations. That announcement came in earlier today.
The NBA is on 1010XL.
The Orlando Magic head west for a battle against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Tonight at 9:30 on 1010 AM.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
When the heat's on high or the chill is too much, who you gonna call? Cool Cats Heating and Cooling is locally owned and operated with a perfect touch. You'll keep your home just right, day or night. AC to heating, don't take a beating. Call the coolest cats in town. With a 5-star Google rating, they're your neighbors, ready to help. So get your paw of approval from Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town. CoolCatsJax.com.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that'll be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back. And hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindowWorld today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
WindowWorld. Simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 3rd, 2002, the New England Patriots won their first Super Bowl title, defeating the St. Louis Rams 20-17. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady was awarded MVP.
Hey, this is David with Royal Pest Services. The fact that we've been bundled up the past month gave us an idea. Let's bundle up also with our Centricon and Pest Control Bundle, starting at $349. Visit RoyalPestServices.com for your free inspection.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you're inside the Kuhn Flowers showroom, you'll find a wide array of gift ideas that will take care of any gift-giving situation. Spend a few minutes there and you'll see for yourself. That's Kuhn Flowers on Beach Boulevard.
Lauren Brooks here. Tuesday, February 11th is a very special day in Jacksonville. It's JU Day. Join us as 1010XL broadcasts live all day long from the Kenny Center on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville University. Incredible auction items will be available throughout the day to raise money for JU Athletics.
Hey, Icken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Happy birthday, Dave Davies of the Kings, 78 years young. Now calls the United States. Somewhere here is home. Of course, he can't get along with brother Ray, who still lives in London. They got to be in opposite continents for crying out loud. And can you imagine what the Kings would have done if they stayed together? They just disappeared in the mid-'80s. Artistic indifferences between the Davies brothers. We've seen that with some brothers, right? The Wilsons. And again, Dennis Wilson was shacked up with Charles Manson and the family. The Fogarty brothers, probably the most infamous, with CCR. Maybe even if you're real long in the tooth, you'll tell us about the Everly brothers. Have you ever heard of the Everly brothers before?
I have not.
Wake Up Little Susie. 50s rock band.
I've never even heard of the Kinks.
Two brothers. You've never heard the Kinks?
Nope.
Man, you're wet behind the ears, man. You're young. You got so much to look forward to. Kinks killed it in the 70s and 80s. They actually came in the 60s. They were like a big part of the, London Underground movement and very well respected. Our friend Derek Trucks has the Kinks soundboard. Legendary soundboard in his recording studio. It's like a small spaceship. It is absolutely incredible if you see the size of this soundboard, and it was the Kinks soundboard for a number of years, but they don't need it anymore. They've just basically given up, and we as rock fans are the losers for it. How you doing, Dylan? What's going on?
Oh, another day, man. Just weekend felt like it came and went. Played some golf, played some bad golf.
Yeah, you feeling okay today?
Yeah. It felt good to be back out there with some warm weather because it had been cold the last couple weeks. But I say cold, it was, 55 or below. That's cold to me. But good to be back, another work week. And new news with the Jaguars, just waiting for the coaching staff to be hired,
I got back to my normal weekend. I golfed on Saturday and went to the beach on Sunday.
There you go.
And
not a bad life in Florida.
It was absolutely out of this world. Anthony Perkins has been announced. I think good friends probably refer to him as Psycho, as the secondary. Look it up, kids, if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe the greatest horror film of all time. Anthony Perkins, shower scene, dead mom controlling his mind. I mean, that was Hitchcock, right? That was Alfred. I know The Birds was Alfred Hitchcock. I want to say Psycho was as well. But anyway, they get another Anthony Perkins, who will now be the secondary coach. He had been the co-defensive coordinator with Oregon State. So that came in a little bit earlier today. Also, Richard Angulo is going to stay as the tight ends coach. He played here. He's coached here. The Lions wanted to interview him. He's thought of highly throughout the NFL circles. I have a tiny bit of trepidation here only because the way that I'm wired, the way that my brain works, I have always been, when you lose and you lose and you lose and you lose and you lose like this football team does, get rid of people who have been around losing. And they elected to keep Heath Farwell, who's obviously done a wonderful job with special teams. Okay, they're now keeping Richard Angulo, who will oversee the tight end position. And listen, it was a good year for tight ends, especially if you could keep Evan Ingram healthy. And that's going to be another decision, regardless of who the general manager is. That becomes one of the biggest decisions that this football franchise is going to have to do. Do you keep Evan Ingram? Do you restructure his contract, or do you let him go? Christian Kirk's going to be, involved in that equation as well. The Jaguars have enough money to afford it, but we're talking about leadership here. We're talking about getting better, and unfortunately, with those two, they're coming off injuries, and it's now been in consecutive years for Christian Kirk. Brenton Strange performed well this year, and Luke Farrell's a free agent. So they're going to have to, especially if Ingram's not part of the plan. For the record, I want Evan Ingram to stay here. I think I'm willing to move on from Christian Kirk. And it's only because his salary cap figure is absolutely enormous, right? And let's see right here. Man, his cap figure is $24,089,000. If you cut him pre-June 1st, you got to eat $13,652,000, but you do bring back $10.4 million. So you're going to be eating some dead cap money. I always mention the post-June 1st cut. I did that a year ago with a couple of guys, including Zay Jones, and this organization was like, no. I think Zay Jones cost them an extra $4 to $5 million offhand by cutting him when they did, as opposed to post-June 1st. If this organization waited till June 1st to cut Christian Kirk, you would only eat $7.8 million, and you would be able to recoup $16.2 million. All right, what's problematic there is that money cannot be used in free agency, which we know begins in mid-March. This organization is still going to have a lot of money. That money could be reused for re-signing one of your own. I mean, what are you going to do with Trayvon Walker? With the Myles Garrett news that is out there right now, where, he wants out, he wants a trade, he deserves top dollar without question. He should be the highest paid overall defensive end. And it's not even close. 102 sacks in 8 years. Aiden Hutchinson, right there with Walker, is available for an extension. TJ Watt is entering the final year of his contract. Nick Bosa has 2 years remaining in his contract. So this market is going to go completely off the chart, right? And we saw what Josh Hines Allen got paid. Trayvon Walker's going to get paid more. And these other numbers, so it's really going to be quite intriguing. Yeah, I think right now you have to re-sign Trayvon Walker, don't you? You're not going to re-sign Devin Lloyd. I don't think you're going to re-sign Andre Sisco. Walker's gotten better in his career. I still think the biggest issue with Trayvon Walker would be, where do you play him? Where is he as an every down player? Or is he going to be a guy that is perhaps going to be a little bit more versatile? We finally going to see him move throughout that defensive line coming up as early as this year. Only time will tell. But, I mentioned those post-June 1st numbers. A lot of times they don't come into play. And just as I head to this break, I spent all last offseason talking about the two biggest contracts on the team and how they would be restructured or something would happen, and nothing did. With Kirk a year ago and with Cam Robinson a year ago, Trent Baalke just let it roll. So will the new general manager say, Christian Kirk to me is still a very important part of this football team? I'm going to pay him the $24 million. That's the cap number. I think There's no way you can do that for a aging, injured slot wide receiver. You can't pay him that. But the flip side is, do you want to restructure and add a couple of years to it? It's a wonderful conversation. And it's one that we're going to be having here the entire offseason until a decision is made. All right, let's get ready for the second hour. It's going to involve you at 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know how superheroes have these secret identities?
Who is that girl? She's Lauren Brooks.
I'm 1/3 of an elite crime-fighting team backed by an anonymous millionaire.
On Helmets and Heels from noon to 2.
At your service.
On 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back in the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Upgrade your home with the winning combination of style and performance from Renewal by Andersen. Energy efficient, custom built replacement windows and doors. For a limited time, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires February 28th. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yo, E2the here from MyBookie, and it's finally here. A game so big, we're not even supposed to say the name. Where the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles at the Superdome. This isn't just the biggest game of the year, it's the ultimate betting event. If you're not on MyBookie, you're missing out on all the action. Big game betting with MyBookie goes beyond picking the winner. We've got all the wild props you can think of for this epic showdown. Will it be heads or tails? What color will the Gatorade be for the drenching of the winning coach? Even the length of the national anthem and the spectacle of the halftime show are up for grabs. MyBookie loves giving you options to bet on everything. What really makes MyBookie stand out? We make it easy to win and even easier to get paid. Whether you deposit in crypto or credit, bonuses await. And our new loyalty program gives you cash back just for playing. Bet on the big game boost parlays, live betting, and jackpots that can turn small bets into big wins. Fast signups, lightning fast payouts, Make sure you sign up using my promo code 1010XL to get that deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. Come on, somebody.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Rashawn Gary gave quite a compliment to the Jaguars' newest defense coordinator, Anthony Campanile, saying that he holds people accountable. This organization needs that. They need a little bit of discipline. There's so many things that need to change around here. When we talk about the culture and we talk about the environment, we talk about the lack of leadership. Holding people accountable is a big part of that. And be very interested to see how that message gets translated as we move into the offseason for the Jaguars. All right, general manager news. Both Albert Breer and Jordan Schultz, a couple of friends of the program, now saying that Jacksonville has requested to interview Ian Cunningham, the assistant general manager of the Bears. Peter Schrager is saying that the Jaguars have requested permission to interview the Buccaneers assistant general manager, Mike Greenberg. Jeremy Fowler is saying the Jaguars have requested permission to speak with Chargers assistant general manager Chad Alexander and Cincinnati Bengals executive Trey Brown, who was a finalist for the Jets job, according to Jeremy Fowler. So there's 4 candidates. I know Albert Breer and his Monday morning quarterback recently had John Robinson in there, the ex-Tennessee general manager. Ray Agnew, I know, is a name that I was big on out of Detroit, and others mentioned him. I've no mention as of right now for Agnew, who just feels like he's not part of this equation, or John Robinson. So if it is one of those 4 guys, I think you have to really look at what this organization is doing. And I don't have a problem with it. I just think you as fans, you're going to have to be realistic with the approach. Today they announced Tony Boselli, first-time executive vice president of football operations. First-timer. Last week they announced a new head coach, Liam Cohen, first-time head coach. They announced their defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile, last week. First-time defensive coordinator. All of the offensive coordinators that we hear, and, I happen to be one of those who wants Kevin Carberry out of Tampa for the reason that I have expressed again and again and again. He's an offensive line coach. I understand he's never been an offensive coordinator. He won't be calling plays. He will still be very, very involved with the offensive scheme and the day-to-day work. That would be my hire. It feels right now like it's going to be the 34-year-old Nate Scheelhaus, who's a special assistant right now with the Los Angeles Rams, 34 years of age. That is what my gut is telling me. Okay? So that's a first-time offensive coordinator. We just gave you the 4 candidates that Jacksonville is going to interview for the general manager job. First-time GM. So look at that. First-time EVP, first-time GM, first-time head coach, first-time offensive and defensive coordinator. The only returner is Heath Farwell, who does have experience in this league as a special teams coordinator. This may end up being brilliant. This may end up being absolutely sensational. What it says to me is that, and I almost feel like I should get shocked like Pavlov, by saying this, but it feels like patience is being a part of this franchise once again. You wouldn't go in this direction with all these hires if the goal was put everything in and win it this year. And, that's unrealistic anyway, right? You don't go from 4-13 to winning a Super Bowl. You go from 4-13 to 9-8. You go from 4-13 to 8-9. In a year, you're double digits. In, this year, who knows? Maybe they can win a wild card. Maybe they can win this division. It's a terrible division. It is. It's a dysfunctional division. All 4 teams in it. But you don't turn it that significantly. You can end up having a really good year. I mean, look what Minnesota did this year. Look at Detroit's done in consecutive years. That happens. But it feels like it's putting everything in order with the younger guys, first-time position holders to redo this franchise. Chip Kelly went to the Raiders. He had been rumored. Obviously, he was a veteran and a guy with a lot of NFL experience, a lot of big-time college football experience, a former head coach, considered a very good play caller. Ron Rivera interviewed over the weekend. He spent 2024 away from football. So an opportunity to recharge his batteries. He's only 63 years of age. The guy has spent 13 years in pro football as a head coach and is considered a very good defensive mind. I remember when they brought in Monty Kiffin. A guy like that, can you get Ron Rivera in some capacity to help things out? We talked to Dave Campo about it last hour. I think it's very important for this franchise to have someone there who has former head coaching experience. I think Liam Cohen's going to need that. Gus Bradley, first time around, had Doug Marrone. Doug Peterson was a coach, was a head coach, and he employed, nonetheless, Mike McCoy. How about Chris Ash as well? Former safeties coach here, then was a scout a year ago. He's the new defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me when I actually did see that coming in. A couple of other offensive line coaches are being interviewed. The assistant offensive line coach out of San Francisco is Cam Clemens. I have heard a lot of good things about him. I actually went back and forth with Jordan Schultz on a text about Cam Clemens. They love him in San Francisco. So, I've given you my opinion. I want Kevin Carberry as the offensive line coach because I want him to be the offensive coordinator. That's the only way you're going to be able to get him out of Tampa Bay. But people are saying a lot of really good things here about Cam Clemens. Also, Austin Gund has either interviewed or will interview as the offensive assistant, offensive line coach, assistant offensive line coach with Buffalo. So, I like this. I like going to winning organizations. Say what you want about the Bucs. They even won it a year ago at 8-9. I think they won it this year at 9-8. The Bucs have won 3 straight NFC South divisional titles. San Francisco was in the Super Bowl a year ago. Buffalo every year is a player. You and I know that one thing we'll never see in our lifetime is the Buffalo Bills winning a Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. There are venomous snakes all throughout Buffalo. They hide in the snow, okay? And they come out and they bite them every year come the month of January. Buffalo's never going to win a Super Bowl, but it's still a winning football organization. To me, that's really important. Bringing in some guys who know what it's like to win. And that is what this football team has done. Let me give you the rest here since we're on this subject of what the Jaguars have done. For those of you who maybe missed it over the weekend, we've talked about the defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile. He is the D coordinator. They got a linebackers coach. His name is Ten Lukabu, I believe is how you pronounce his name. So they went out and made that move, which was, to me, a totally new name. Absolutely had nothing on him. So I was a little bit surprised that the Jaguars went out and did that, but nonetheless, that was the move that they made. Heath Farwell and Richard Angulo, we have talked about, special teams coordinator and tight ends coach, respectively. Two coaches staying here with the Jags. I would like that to be it. I don't need any other former coaches here. I just want to get rid of the stink of losing. Bill Shuey's the one guy that I would look at and say, all right, well, maybe. Because whether it was a 3-4 or 4-3, whether it was outside linebackers or on the edge, he has worked with Walker and he has worked with Hines Allen. Matt Edwards comes in to run the defensive line. So that move made as well. That is what Jacksonville has done so far as their coaching staff is concerned, and many more hires to come. That was not on the list. I mentioned a little bit earlier. They also went out and got Matt Edwards, by the way, is a defensive line assistant in Buffalo. So he comes now to run the defensive line here. And then you had the Anthony Perkins that we talked about at the start. So he becomes the seventh coach. Co-defensive coordinator at Oregon State. He is now officially considered the secondary coach. Be interested to see what they do. Are they going to, along with position coaches and still to hire an offensive coordinator, are they going to hire a passing game coordinator? Are they going to hire a run game coordinator? Are they going to hire an assistant head coach? Defensively, are they going to have a passing game coordinator, a run game coordinator? I don't know what they're going to do. That's why, this is going to be very fascinating. I happen to be one of those guys who believes more is better, right? More coaches are better, especially if you're bringing in guys that fit the mold, and that is apparently what this team is doing under Liam Cohen. Is they're hiring younger guys, energetic guys. And, when you hire assistant head coaches and you hire passing game coordinators and assistant offensive line coaches and all that stuff, the goal for them is to get better. The goal for them is to move on. So, that's always been a way that I've looked at it. Instead of becoming a fat cat, fully entrenched with a great job that pays, incredible bucks, how about the guy that's striving to be the offensive line coach? Hire the best assistant offensive line coach that you can. So his goal is to become an offensive line coach. You're going to work twice as hard to get to that level. You understand where I'm going? And not to say that these coaches all don't work hard, but there's just so much emphasis on the O coordinator and D coordinator, perhaps not enough with position coaches and assistant position coaches. I'd love for this team to announce that they're hiring an assistant running backs coach. I would love for this team to announce that they're adding an assistant wide receivers coach. They haven't announced who the wide receivers coach is. They just mentioned Angulo as the tight end coach. Announce an assistant tight end coach. More is better, especially if you get the right guys with the right attitude, and hopefully they're from winning programs. Their voice is not going to be heard in major decisions, the roster, the draft, whatever, but they're still going to be able to participate, especially if they're really good at their job. You can earn that by what you do in the classroom, by what you do in the Miller Electric Center, by what you do out on the practice field. So the staff's starting to come together just a little bit here in Duval. All right, let's come back and let's get to you on this tonight. Let's grab a lot of these questions. Man, there's so many that are coming in here on general managers, on the culture. Some people tell me Florida State's in big trouble. Yes, Florida State right now it's as bad as it's ever been over there. Who are potential leaders? Man, I'm all ears on that. I'll answer that question. I'll begin with that. Who are the potential leaders of this football team? It's going to be the same old names, right? Isn't it Trevor? Isn't it Josh Hines-Allen? Isn't it Foye Oluokun? Maybe this is the year where guys like Jarian Jones and Ventrell Miller take over that role. They both have it in them. Jones didn't look like a rookie during the second half of the season. He made some rookie mistakes on the field, but he's got that in him. Again, in order to be a leader in this league, you have to be a really good football player. There's been plenty of leaders around here who have been very vocal, but they're not great at what they do, and it falls on deaf ears. Football is a weird situation where if you're going to be a leader, you have to be a great player. And, that's a big challenge for this roster to find some of them coming up this year. All right, let's do that on the other side. 641-1010, best way to join us. That's the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Bringing intelligent sports talk to the people of Jacksonville.
He's going to demonstrate an electro-biomechanical neural transmitting zero synapse repositioner. We call it
1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
So, Dad, how many people did we have in the house for the family party this year?
I think we had about 30, but with all those grandkids, it felt like 300. They were all over the carpets, rugs, sofa, and chairs, and the kitchen tile really took a beating.
Sounds like it's time to call Zero Res. The Zero Res text will get the house looking great again.
Folks, if you need help cleaning up after the holidays, give Zero Res a call. Right now, get 25% off carpet cleaning and 25% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 3rd, 2002, the New England Patriots won their first Super Bowl title, defeating the St. Louis Rams 20-17. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady was awarded MVP.
Prosser here, still telling you about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures is keeping the sale going into February. Enclosures starting at only $89 a month. And if you get a complete enclosure done, you get free flooring. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring is running a buy one room, get the second room free. Now offering floor coating for that garage or patio deck too. Give them a call or visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Love is in the air this February, but nothing kills the mood like a plumbing or HVAC problem. Whether it's a leaky pipe, a backed up septic tank, or your heater isn't keeping things cozy, don't worry. We've got you covered. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Our expert team is here to keep your home running smooth, no matter the issue. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Hi, I'm Luke Pritchett, the Vice Chairman at the Players. We are proud to support Goodwill and their mission to remove barriers to employment through training, education, and career opportunities. It's 36 days to go until the Players.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 12th through 16th. The Daytona 500 is sold out, but you can still win a 4-pack of tickets to all the other Speed Weeks races. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? For a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Speed Weeks races, text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
Denny Thompson here. This is the last week to enter for a chance to win a $2,500 prize over at the new Tyson Sound and Security showroom. I'm talking a 75-inch loaded Samsung TV with 3D surround sound, a soundbar with wireless subwoofer, and installation is included. Stop by the new showroom, check out the setup, and drop your name in the box to enter for your chance to win. Giveaway ends Sunday, so go now to Tyson Sound and Security, 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's the weekend and I'm feeling
Into
great.
the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There's Jacksonville's The Big Baby Drip. Marcus Matrix, a.k.a. Fatso, is what he goes by. The Big Baby Drip.
I love the music video. Right outside the stadium, Georgia game.
I have communication with the Big Baby, the Big Baby Drip, and he's getting after it. Some of his stuff is really good. Got some slow songs, almost anthems, maybe a ballad. And we wish him the best right here on your home at the Jaguars. Was that just something bad that maybe you should dump?
No, I don't know what the next words are saying, so I'm just dim it down.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble.
No, we don't want to get in trouble.
Hit that dump button and get an email. And yeah, no.
We don't want that to happen. We listened to it a couple of times. Make sure there was nothing in there that would be not presentable. Because we like to look at this as a family show. Mike Greenberg, we're getting all this stuff in on folks who are going to interview 4 candidates. And again, we'll mention that again before we do get out of here. Let's get some of your stuff. 7863, who sets the culture, the head coach or now Tony? Well, it's going to be a combined effort. The biggest voice is obviously Liam Cohen, without any question whatsoever. He has got to do that, but it's such a challenge for anyone who takes over to get the guys to be fully committed in what you're trying to do. In my opinion, the biggest responsibility of a head coach is to get these players to go overboard, okay? 110% every play, because they want to get it done for you, the coach. That's the way it works with Sean McVay. That's the way it worked with the return of Jim Harbaugh. Did you see Jim Harbaugh's post-game speeches? You know, and then giving him an extra day off. I think it was after, I don't know, maybe it was a bye week or whatever it was. But it just, you could feel it in the locker room, right? You didn't have that with Doug Peterson. Even when they were winning games. You know, Doug, older, not to mention that Harbaugh, similar age, but that's what it comes down to. everyone plays hard in the league because the tape doesn't lie. You don't want to be caught taking plays off because it can hurt you as far as a future stop, future employment. But it's about the extra yard. It's about the extra effort. That's what Liam Cohen's going to have to do first, is try to connect with these players so that these players want to play hard for their coach. To me, I think that's the biggest part of coaching. Tony Boselli is going to have a big part of that with leadership. If these guys don't want to listen to a Hall of Famer, a guy who was the first player ever selected by this franchise, I don't know if they will. Again, this isn't a Jacksonville problem. This is a league-wide problem. College and pro. I mean, remember the videos of the Sanders brothers shooing off Cam Newton the way they did on the sideline at Colorado? I mean, that's Cam Newton, first pick in the draft, Heisman Trophy winner, league MVP. And the Sanders were like, get away from me.
Yeah, I mean, most of these guys now, like whoever they draft next year, they were not born when Boselli was here playing for Jacksonville.
You know,
like they were born, okay, if they're 22 years old in 2026, they were born in, I can't do some math, 26. I mean, what, early 2000s?
You would think there would be respect, but, we saw it with C.J. Stroud and his comments to Fred Taylor. Just mind-boggling, the lack of respect. Here's one on Fred here, 1800s. Fred Taylor going to get a shot to help the team out in any way? That's a good question. I don't know. Fred doesn't live here. Fred comes in for home games, does some TV during the day, and then does some radio on the Jaguars radio network, but I don't know the answer to that question. To me, it would make sense if Fred wanted to live here and wanted to be a part of it. I mean, again, you're talking about an incredible example. And what about the maturation process that we witnessed? I remember interviewing Fred Taylor. I still have the tape. I got to find a way to take these cassette tapes and lay them down. We can play it because I interviewed him in Daytona after they used to have the Florida-Georgia High School All-Star game in Daytona. And you listen to Fred Taylor at that point in his career, senior year in high school, and what he's become, it's an unbelievable story. Really hope Fred gets in. Hope he gets into the Hall of Fame. I think he's a year away. Will it happen this week? We'll see. I really hope so. My guess will be in a year. 2775, Ballou, a secondary coach. What about a primary coach? I don't know. Is Tony going to be in the booth calling plays? I don't know that either.
Yes, and everyone keeps asking us about what his role is with the Jaguar Radio Network, with Prisco. We have no idea.
Don't know at this point. I mean, listen, I love radio, and to me, radio is it. But I would think that in the long scheme of things, this team just went 4-13. This team is trying to change its identity. This team is lacking leadership. This team is lacking so many different issues. There's so many issues that I think that's on the back burner right now. That would be my opinion. 40-42, Blue and A5 quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl that weren't leaders. How can Trevor win if he's not only he doesn't have that real fire of passion? Why would the Jaguars pay him? Well, I mean, there's a difference in fire and passion. Okay? Liam Cohen leaves Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield doesn't have the talent of Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have the God-given ability of Trevor Lawrence. But I think he's a better leader. I think he's a blue-collar guy. And again, I'm trying to downgrade a guy who won the Heisman and was the top pick in the draft. We know that Trevor was also the top pick in the draft. Trevor's ability coming out of college was Andrew Luck, John Elway. It was can't miss. Baker, you go back and read those mock drafts the year that he was playing collegiate football. He wasn't even in the first round. He just absolutely, he spurted up, no doubt. Rose up the mock drafts. But I've talked a lot to members of the media in Tampa the last few weeks. And everyone that I speak with says the same thing about Baker Mayfield. The guys love him. I just went off about playing hard for a coach and how that's the most important thing. The teammates in Tampa, they love Baker Mayfield. Okay? If Baker got laid out and concussed the way that Trevor Lawrence did, those Buccaneer players would have gone freaking crazy. There would have been ejections. There would have been 15-yard personal fouls. Around here, everything was a little bit too buttoned up. And I'm not trying to say that they don't respect or like Trevor Lawrence. I'm not. There's just a different tone in Tampa than there is here in Duval. I mean, again, I hate to be that guy, but just ask yourself that question. What if they did that to Trevor Lawrence? What if they did that to Baker Mayfield there? Think about how that team would react. That's what you need. You need some guys with fire in the belly, man. And again, look at Boselli. Imagine if they had done that to Brunell. And I understand that the league is totally different from the mid-'90s and the late 90s to what we have now. But it's a pretty simple thought. Just ask yourself that. What do you think Wydell and Coleman and Cersei and DeMarco and Tilsky and Boselli, what do you think those guys would have done if you did that to Brunell? $81.48 Blue. Differences. It was indifference that they still be together. Yeah, artistic indifferences, I guess, what you're talking about. Yeah, I read it both ways. Differences, indifferences. I've always wanted to use that in artistic indifferences. Appreciate the correction if, in fact, it applies. I think you can use it that way. 6709 with the Jaguars assembling a new, and that is talking about the Kinks. I mean, that's the moral of the story. It's awful. We're the big losers here. We didn't get the Kinks through the remainder of the 80s into the 90s because the brothers hated themselves. It's just terrible, man. You're making rock and roll. You got groupies. You got booze. You got it all. What more could you want? You can't agree on the direction. It's happened to the best of them. Look at the Police. They hate each other. Look at Pink Floyd. Waters and Gilmore won't even speak to one another anymore. It's amazing the Rolling Stones have held on. Hey, this happens in sports, too. Guys end up hating one another. You know how when they hate each other most? When they lose. You think it's bad here during football season? You play 17 games. Imagine what it's like in Major League Baseball when you play 162. I saw Rich Dower just died. My goodness. Rich Dower was a second baseman with the Orioles, primarily in the 70s. I think he came in and replaced Bobby Grich, but he was he was there under Earl Weaver. And one of the but this is off the record. Okay, and it's from a incredible, impeccable source. So some things are churning here tonight. Some things are moving. This franchise is putting some stuff together. I think it's going to be a very busy week. 6709 with the Jaguars assembling a new coaching staff. How valuable would it be to bring in a veteran leader like Ron Rivera as an assistant head coach? Not his defense, but navigating challenge for some. No doubt. Absolutely. Absolutely. Has to happen. You know, the only two we've heard of has been Ron Rivera. Chip Kelly now is in Las Vegas. You know, there's also a report out today that I read with Josina Anderson that the Jaguars did everything they could to try to keep Patrick Graham from going back to Las Vegas. That was Josina Anderson's report. Brandon Staley's a name we've heard mentioned, but there was no interview that I'm aware of, and he's the assistant head coach right now in San Francisco. But I think it's incredibly important, even if you put him in the front office, even if you just make him, a defensive analyst and have him hang in the press box during games or, in the suite during games. He's still absolutely involved with what is going on schematically, the expertise of being a head coach before, so many different things, how to deal with the media, how to deal with logistics, how to deal with practicing in training camp. Say you do it with another organization. I mean, there's just so many things. And again, you know it and I know it. A year from now, when we talk with Liam Cohen, or maybe it will be deeper than that. Maybe it will be once we get into training camp, not this year, but next year. You'll start to hear things from Liam Cohen that sounds like this. Yeah, I can't believe how much I learned my first year, and I'm going to do things differently my second year. That's going to happen for any rookie coach. So I think lining yourself up with someone like that is needed. And right now, this organization is not doing that. They're going with young coaches across the board. The great ones of the Blue Crab House rest tonight. They're back at it tomorrow night, though. How about Tuesdays? $2 margaritas, $9 margarita pitchers. Opens at 4:30. They'll take it till 9. Of course, Wednesday night, dollar-steamed oysters. That is the deal every Wednesday at the Blue Crab House. A wonderful time to sit outside in the patio. Beautiful weather. Again, they rest tonight, but they're back at it beginning tomorrow right off of San Jose, located on Julington Creek Road. All right, much more to do. Take you up until 8 o'clock right here on this Monday. Hacker Nation will join you at 8.
Sometimes sports radio can be a wild ride. Buckle up your chin strap. This is 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
February is Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center will help you take charge of your well-being. Their new location at World Golf Village off I-95 now provides screenings for prostate, bladder, and colorectal cancers. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
The Electric Light Orchestra Experience featuring Evil Woman, the American ELO. A concert celebration featuring the music of Electric Light Orchestra. It's February 5th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
New Orleans, a spectacle in the Superdome. 4 quarters in the French Quarter.
60 minutes of football.
60 minutes! All best, here we go!
1010XL's coverage of football's favorite day.
This is about us!
Is viewed through Window World of Northeast Florida.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Mia here for MyBookie. It's finally here. A game so big we're not even supposed to say the name, where the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles at the Caesars Superdome. This isn't just the biggest game of the year, it's the ultimate betting event. If you are not on MyBookie, you are missing out on the action. Big game betting with MyBookie goes beyond just picking the winner. We've got all the wild props for this epic showdown. Will it be heads or tails for the coin toss? What color will the Gatorade for the drenching of the winning coach be? Even the length of the national anthem are up for bets at MyBookie. They love giving you options to bet on everything. Make it easy to win and even easier to get paid with MyBookie, whether you deposit with crypto or credit. Bonuses await. And our new loyalty program gives you cash back just for playing. Bet on big game boosted parlays, live betting, and jackpots that can turn small bets into big wins. Why just watch when you can own the big game? Sign up with MyBookie now using promo code 1010XL and get your 50% sign-up bonus to kick things off. Bet anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
To...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caale.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
And, of course, the big news today, Tony Boselli, the Executive Vice President of Football Operations. He will report to Tony Khan. And he becomes the second EVP. Remember, with Tom Coughlin, it was a different feel. It felt like Coughlin was involved in contract negotiations and the roster. I think Tony will have a say in that, but he's going to have a tremendous amount of responsibilities or a tremendous amount of responsibility. Shad Khan talked about his leadership today in his release. He had this to say: few people have better relationships throughout the NFL, know the game, and understand the value of strong team identity and culture, as well as Tony Boselli. Tony has a wealth of football acumen that we respect and need, and his counsel will be tremendously valuable to me and our football leadership team during the current rebirth and for many seasons to come. This part I thought was really interesting. In addition to his role on football leadership, Boselli's going to be responsible for player engagement, football technology, football travel and logistics, equipment, sports performance, team security, and football communications. Boselli will also serve as the liaison between football operations and the business side of the Jaguars to ensure a unified and successful organization as a whole. I can see him working with Mark Lamping in those thoughts. As far as football travel and logistics, maybe Boselli has a better feel as a former player on how long do you go to London if you have West Coast games. And they have some West Coast games coming up this year. Don't they have one in Vegas again? I think they might have one in like San Francisco or something like that. Do you leave Friday afternoon as opposed to you leave Saturday afternoon? You get in and out with the jet lag. You know, Boselli's the guy who has done that. So he's going to be involved in all of these equations. 9247, does Boselli now get Burnell down here? I heard Burnell was going with Aaron Glenn to the Jets like a week and a half ago. I haven't heard anything since. I do not know the answer to that question. Haven't heard anything about that with Mark Burnell. 4569 Blue, Bears fan yet. Which job was better, Bears or Jags? Jags are better. Jags are better because they're in a very winnable division. Bears were dead last in the most difficult division in the NFL. Who would you rather go up week after week with? Love and Goff, and I know Darnold couldn't be moved. They have McCarthy waiting, who was injured, or the dysfunctional quarterback situation here, where Tennessee has given up on Levis. Looks like Indianapolis has given up on AR. Stroud, just the offensive coordinator, Bobby Skolik, was fired, even though they won the divisional title in consecutive years. Quality of life is better here. I lived 7 years in Chicago. I love my time in Chicago, but, brother, it is cold. The tax situation. Taxes are way better here than they are in Illinois. So to me, and I lived in them both, I would say that. 6121. Hey, Ballou, I know it's only a chance that you'll be filling in with a big fella in the booth with Frangie and Logs. Nah, that ain't happening. Former player. They have those roles. I did the sideline for 8 years and loved it. But that's rare for guys like me doing that anymore. I mean, let's be honest. Go television and radio. Who are sideline reporters? They are former athletes or they are women. Guys like me are a dime a dozen. And I got dimed a dozened out because of it. 50, but I'm here for it. And I'm a better guy. And listen, the best part of the 8+ years that I was a sideline reporter, I enjoyed every moment of it. I never took it for granted. Every stop, every event, I was wide-eyed. It was freaking spectacular. My only regret was Nate Hackett and Doug Marrone not trying to win the AFC Championship game. I've been to many Super Bowls, but it would have been great to do sideline reporting during the Super Bowl. And, of course, they fell short because they crumbled late in the fourth quarter. Do I want to do that? Nah, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I do. 1366, Ballou, go ahead and draft Armstead's replacement. He showed his colors and he backed up the test. Yeah. Okay. Everyone's down on Armstead. I'm down on Armstead. He all of a sudden becomes a big part of this. This is the last year of his deal if you look at it contractually speaking, right? You can't cut him this year. It was a mistake. And he failed in every sense of it. He came here injured. It slowed him down. He didn't give the leadership that was provided. They never seemed to use him the right way. I don't want to overdo this tonight because it's way too premature. But what if he flips the switch? What if Eric Armstead says, I got a year left. Watch this. And all of a sudden, something happens here. I wouldn't bet on it. I'm not going to waste a lot of airtime on it, especially now in early February. But what if that happens? All of a sudden, him and Mason Smith have a pretty good combination on the interior. And we don't know if they're going to run a 3-4 or a 4-3. We don't know what this team is going to do. And I get it. I mean, the draft is filled with getting that kid out of Michigan. Let me look at his deal real quick. Boy, his cap number. Let's see here. Eric Armstead's cap number is actually very doable. It's only $7,385,000, but where it gets just absolutely insane is, that's post-June 1st. Let me go to pre-June 1st. Let me do this again. I do apologize. Where'd you go, Armstead? Where'd you go? Well, I had him and I lost it.
Come on, for next year, 2026, or this year?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. $7,385,000. If they were to cut him pre-June 1st, you see this? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cap hit.
$36 million.
Yep.
He's got no chance of being cut. Gabe Davis, too. Would you tell me earlier that Gabe says he's walking now?
Yeah, he posted on his Instagram story. He's I guess he wasn't walking. Now he's walking now.
It was an awful free agency year. And I wonder how active Jacksonville's going to be. I think they need to make one splash hit, one big hit, whether it's a number 2 wide receiver, whether it's a right guard. I want it to be an offensive hit. And then you can spend a little bit, maybe get a starting safety, maybe get some depth at defensive end. But I wonder just how active, and I can't even comment yet. We don't even know who the new general manager is going to be. But everyone's down on him right now. And I get it. And I'm not telling you not to be down on him. But there's one guy that maybe, just maybe, he could flip the switch in a year and give you something. We will see. Only time will tell.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
A lot of transactions going on for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, obviously, all the NFL insiders got the texts at the same time within the last hour. 5 general manager interview requests for the Jags. So that's clearly the next piece of business they're going to do after the Boselli announcement today.
Yeah. What'd you think of Tony getting the EVP job?
I think it's great. And I know you've been talking about it. A lot of shows here have been talking about it. I'm going to start off my show. I mean, who are these Jaguars? We're so used to just bad stuff happening year after year after year. And look, come September, it's all about winning games, right? But from a public perception standpoint, a fan perception standpoint, where the fans were 12 days ago compared to where they are now, it's 180-degree difference.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, that Monday when Balky was announced and Peterson was let go, it was so dormant. It was so awful. That has that has changed 180 degrees where people are like, I'm buying tickets again. I'm going to return. I'm going to be a season ticket holder. And I love hearing that because these players obviously need support. And when they're loud, that stadium can rock.
Yeah, look, I mean, and again, who knows how it's going to work out. But I think if you would have told Jaguar fans that on Groundhog Day, the day after Groundhog Day, Peterson's, and if you told them this in the middle of December, Peterson's gone, Nielsen's gone, Press Taylor's gone, Balky's gone, Boselli's the EVP of football ops, Liam Cohen is your head coach. Regardless of the roller coaster that it took to get here, it's been a great offseason from a fan perception standpoint. And then we'll see what happens with the GM. I'll tell you this. I don't know a lot about all these assistant GMs, but what I do know is these are all the guys that other teams interviewed. Mm-hmm. These are all the guys that were finalists for other GM jobs. So amazingly enough, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not acting like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No,
they seem
not.
to be making really good moves.
And it feels like it's going to be a much younger nucleus. I mean, you have a first-time EVP. Feels like you have a first-time GM, a first-time head coach, a first-time defensive coordinator, a first-time, it looks like, offensive coordinator. The only one who stuck was the special teams coordinator in Heath Farwell. That's amazing that every other position is new. It's young. So I think indirectly what it says to me is that Shad Khan, again, is going to be patient with this group.
Yeah, that Carline brought up a really good point on the Frangie show. He's like, when it's so much newness, it usually goes one of two ways. It's either phenomenal or a disaster, and there's not a lot of gray area. There's not a lot of middle ground. Hopefully it's phenomenal. I think we'll all plan for a disaster because that's what we're used to here in Jacksonville. But again, we're used to the Jaguars making bad moves, and the last 2 weeks, they haven't. They've made very good moves on the surface, which is a really nice change.
All right, what's coming up?
Tom McManus. Obviously, his former teammate, Tony Boselli, is now the EVP of football ops. So we're going to have Tommy Mack on to talk about that, talk about Liam Cohen as well. And a guy you know very well from back in the day, Sean Devaney, NBA insider.
Sure.
Maybe the biggest trade in the history of the NBA on Saturday night. I was getting over watching the Royal Rumble, Rick, where it was every man for themselves, and I was still awake.
Who won it?
Jay Uso, Rikishi's kid, won it. Kind of a surprise there. Anyway, and I get home from watching it at a buddy's house, and I see Shams with the tweet. I thought he had been hacked.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way.
He thought he was hacked.
Yeah.
He said himself he thought he was hacked.
When he got the text.
Right.
Like, they traded who? And when I found out Luka Doncic, I'm like, whoa. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in the 9 o'clock hour.
All right. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. Thank you to Dave Campo for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone on YouTube, including Duval Sean, including Layden, including Andrew Lee.
Big Baby Drip.
The Big Baby Drip. He says, thanks, Rick, for playing my song on air. I'm smiling from ear to ear. Just keep sending us tunes. The Big Baby Drip. And we'll play them right here on Into the Night. I don't check YouTube. I don't check the text line now that the show is over. But you can always get me on Twitter or X at Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll do it again tomorrow night at 6 right here on your home of the Jags.